Hey guys, and welcome back to the Zachrix YouTube channel. Today we are dropping another tier list in here. This time, instead of ranking the films, we are ranking all of the MCU characters. Well, not all of them, because apparently no one wants to acknowledge the existence of She-Hulk and Thor: Love and Thunder in this, apart from that one picture of Thor. So I think it's up to Miss Marvel that we have here. So for the Thor: Love and Thunder characters and the She-Hulk characters, I'll put my ranking in the description of what tier they'll put them in, or what tier I'll put them in. But other than that, yeah, we've got most of them here. This will be my rank of how much I enjoy them as a character, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The tiers we have the best, love hearts. We have a great tier, good, okay characters, which aren't good but not bad. We have a bad tier, terrible, the worst, and who? 3 question marks. But to kick things off, we have Tony Stark, Iron Man, and I think we all know where this guy's going. I clicked off it again. Go back. Aha, there we go. The best tier. Yeah, Tony Stark is the best. It was this guy's journey that kickstarted off the whole MCU, and they just brought it to a perfect end at the end of Endgame. And even after Endgame, he still has that effect on the MCU after the past. He's the best character in the whole MCU without a doubt. Next up, Rhodey / War Machine. I think Rhodey's good. That's really about it. We haven't seen a whole lot of him, like any moments with him. He was pretty cool in Infinity War. The fight scene he had with Tony in Iron Man 2 I thought was pretty good, given it only had 2 action sequences. But yeah, nothing really good. Well, nothing really bad about the character, just nothing great about him. It's just kind of there. Next up, Thor. Yeah, I've got to do it again. Thor is one of the best characters, hands down. His journey from the first Thor all the way up to Love and Thunder is brilliant. How he starts off really big about himself, boasting himself, then he learns that kind of humanity and starts to move forward from it. And he's actually a really funny character, I can't lie. Next up, Hawkeye Clint Barton. Again, he's good. Yeah, he's good. There's nothing great about him. He introduced us to Clint Barton. Well, Marvel introduced us to Clint Barton through Thor, and yeah, didn't really think much of him. I think his Hawkeye show is brilliant. He's amazing in that. But yeah, nothing great, nothing bad. He's just good. Jane Foster. She's okay. Oh no, yeah, she's okay. Through Thor 1 and 2, she's alright, yeah, she's tolerable at points. She was left out of Thor 3, which is fair enough. And then she comes back in Thor 4, well, Thor Love and Thunder as Lady Thor. And even then, I think she's just a bit of a wasted character. So, you know what, yeah, I'm going to move you down. She hasn't really done much. She was a bit of a waste. She had her throughout the Love and Thunder and then killed her off at the end. But yeah, other than that, yeah, bad character for me. Loki, I think it's another good character. I think Tom Hiddleston plays him perfectly. I love his kind of redemption arc throughout the MCU. How in Thor 1, he's pure evil. In Avengers, he's pure evil. Then he has that tweak in Thor 2, where he becomes good to help Thor and then betrays him again. So he has that little tweak, which kind of you can see it. Then in Thor Ragnarok, he goes from from Loki to actually kind of being good, and then Infinity War, the sacrifice. I think that was a good character arc for him, and even in the Loki show with 2012 Loki after Avengers, you can see the change in him from there. So yeah, Loki's a good character. Odin, you don't see a lot of Really don't see a lot of, but throughout the first film he banishes Thor and then goes to sleep for the rest of it. In Thor 2... Oh, what happened in Thor 2? I don't really remember Thor 2, but yeah, I can't really. And then in Thor Ragnarok he passes. I'm gonna say he's a bad character. He's kind of sidelined throughout most of it. He falls asleep in Thor, and then I can't remember Thor 2. We weren't that memorable, to be honest. Let's be honest. Eric Selvig. We haven't seen a lot of Selvig in the recent MCU. I'm gonna put him bad as well. Yeah. In Thor 1, I thought he was quite funny. In Thor 2, they kind of do that really kind of deranged thing. He ends up in an insane asylum. And he gets medicated and stuff. I didn't really like that. In Ragnarok, he was not there at all, but he was in the Avengers. He was one of Loki's henchmen. So kind of, yeah, he's a bad character. Don't really like what they did with him, and whether we see him again in the future, I have no idea. Darcy, I think, is okay. Darcy, I think she's actually quite funny in Thor 1 and Thor 2, and then even again in WandaVision. Nothing really good about her, nothing really bad to say about her, but it's just okay. Laufey, he was in Thor 1 for like barely of it. I'm gonna put him in terrible. I don't remember Laufey at all. Yeah. Heimdall is okay. I like Heimdall. I like his kind of like... Oh, what to say about Heimdall? I don't think he's like this level, or I don't think he's that level either. I liked him in Ragnarok. In Infinity War, he passed away. He was stabbed in the chest by Thanos. Thor 1, he weren't really in it either. And I just can't remember Thor 2 for the life of me again. So, these guys... The only one I can remember fondly is Lady Sif. So, I'm going to put Sif in okay. And the rest of the crew I'm putting in bad. That's Frigga, leave her there. I honestly cannot remember these guys beyond Lady Sif. All I remember from these guys is him getting stabbed in the chest by Hela, him dying to Hela, him I cannot even remember. Who is Fan? I'm going to put Fandral in who. I have no idea who he is. Lady Sif, however, I think is okay. She's got some quite good scenes. She kicks Loki in the balls in the like time scene in Loki. I thought that was funny. Even then, Frigga. Where to put Frigga? Frigga's okay. Yeah. She hasn't really got a whole lot in the MCU. It's nice that she has that effect on Loki, and you can. That's what kind of starts to see the good in him. Other than that, she doesn't got a whole lot. Her death scene as well, I didn't really think much of it, nor the funeral scene. Comparing this to maybe Heimdall's death, I felt a little bit of sadness with Heimdall, but other than that, with Frigga, I've got nothing. Captain America Steve Rogers, we all know it. He's the best. World War II hero, straight through till Endgame. Such a good like journey for him. And he's one of the most badass Avengers I've ever seen. So yeah, he's one of the best characters for me. Red Skull. Where do I put Red Skull? I'm gonna say bad. Yeah. It's not good looking. It's not looking good so far. They've got a load of bad characters and like okay characters. But yeah, Red Skull didn't really do much for me. I did like him in Captain America. Um, it's just that I would say some of his motives are a bit strange, but then again, he's a secret organization in Nazi Germany, and then he's going to try and overthrow Nazi Germany to rule the world. It kind of doesn't make sense. But yeah, nothing great about this character. Peggy Carter. I think Peggy's good. Yeah, I quite like Peggy. Captain America 1, she was quite badass. Can't lie. And do they have Captain Carter? Okay, I won't put Captain Carter as a Peggy ranking. So we'll exclude What If and Doctor Strange. Peggy I thought was good. She was great with Steve, and that connection that she has with him. It kind of improved Steve and then made me like Peggy more. Other than that, nothing really much to say. Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. I'm gonna throw him in the good tier along with Rhodey. I think Bucky's good. I love what they do with him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where he's got that dynamic of how he's trying to atone for being the Winter Soldier, and in the Winter Soldier, he's the best. He's one of the best villains there. So menacing, such a threat. Infinity War, he has that he kind of returns for a bit, and in Civil War, you can kind of see him trying to come back from being the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Bucky's good. Arnim Zola. He was in Captain America 1. He only had that small, like, villainy type role, and even then it weren't much. Then he reorganized Hydra inside of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was pretty good. Well, it was a good idea. It weren't good. It was a good idea. Then again, he was the computer in not Iron Man 2. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But even then, you don't really do much with him. He just kind of blows up a building. Yeah, I'm sticking him in the terrible tier. Maria Hill is okay. Maria, she was in first year, I think, in the Avengers, or it may have been Iron Man 2. It was one of the two. But I didn't mind her. I think she's alright in Winter Soldier as well. Moving on through the whole MCU, now she's gonna direct S.H.I.E.L.D. soon. Well, it's bound to be. But yeah, she's nothing special, nothing bad. She's okay. Thanos, he's a great character. First one on the great tier is Thanos. He is truly the best villain in the whole MCU. That's enough said. He's so threatening. The journey he has is brilliant, and the fact that it actually made like our Avengers lose puts him that much higher. Yeah. Aldrich Killian. Don't like him. Really do not like him. Nothing. There's just nothing about him, really. He set up the fake Mandarin. Then, he was only the villain for like the last 45 minutes. And even then he was killed off by Pepper. Yeah, I don't like Aldrich Killian. Maya Hansen. Who are you? You're the woman from Iron Man 3, I know that, but even then, I don't know what to say about her. She's just there. Nothing really to say. Trevor. Trevor's a mixed one for me. Because in Iron Man 3, he was the fake Mandarin, or just an actor. I didn't like that aspect of it. Then he comes back in Shang-Chi, and he's just brilliant in it. Trevor's brilliant. Him and Morris together, and at the end of the battle where he's being fake dead just to survive is brilliant. Yeah, I'm gonna stick him in. I'll stick him in bad, just because what they did with him in Iron Man 3 just outweighs Shang-Chi like that much more. So yeah, Harley, terrible. Harley was the young lad Iron Man met in. Oh, what was the country? I don't know what the country was, but it was in Iron Man 3. He helps Tony repair the suit and allows him to stay with him. They have a good dynamic between them, but even then, after Iron Man 3, he's gone until Endgame, where he appears at the funeral just for that one scene. He does nothing. So yeah, I can't put him above terrible. The Hulk, I'm sticking in great. I would love very much to stick the 4 main ones in here, but I just can't. Because Hulk's journey isn't like these guys. He has the solo film at the start of the MCU, the second film, in fact. And then he's in the Avengers. I think he was really good in the Avengers. Then he was in Age of Ultron. So he kind of doesn't really have a story between the 3 years of Avengers and the Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron I didn't mind it, but even then, Age of Ultron, at the end of it, he's taken away for 2 years from Earth and until Ragnarok, and he's funny in Ragnarok, I'll admit that. And then he comes back in Infinity War, but even then they just sideline the Hulk. They won't let Hulk come out, and he's just in the Hulk bus suit. But we'll get to that when I've just seen Bruce is down there, so to that. And then in Endgame, he's Smart Hulk, and he's funny in that. So yeah, I can't put him good because he's great. Betty Ross. What can I say about Betty Ross? I'll stick her in bad. Actually, no, I'm going to stick her in terrible because you see her once in the whole MCU, and that's only in Hulk. But I won't say her character was abysmal. But if they had more Betty Ross, yeah, she'd be a lot. I'm pretty sure she'd be going up into the okay tier. But because we've only seen her once in that one film, I can't say any higher. Thunderbolt Ross, I'm going to say bad. We are introduced to him in The Incredible Hulk, where he's trying to actually hunt down the Hulk. And then he's the founder of the Sokovia Accords in Captain America Civil War to try and help deal with all the damage that the Avengers cause. And then he appears again in Infinity War, just for that scene though. I'm not too fond of Ross at all, to be honest. He's just kind of there. You don't see him much. I'm just waiting for him to turn into Red Hulk. Let's be honest here. We're all just waiting for Ross to turn to Red Hulk. Yeah, but he's appearing again in Thunderbolts. It's either next year or in 2024. So I'm excited for that. Abomination. I'm gonna stick him in the okay tier. I liked him as the villain in Incredible Hulk. I thought he was good. The fight scene he had in Hulk with Brooklyn, is just brilliant. Visuals and the damage caused brilliant. He then appears. You don't see him again until Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi, he's only in it for a scene, but I thought the scene was brilliant because he's having a scrap with Wong in the gambling fight area. But I thought that was good. And then he appears again in She-Hulk actually, and She-Hulk kind of improves him with me. I quite like him because he's starting to atone for everything, and he's got that therapy place. But yeah. Next up, Natasha Romanoff is a great character. Yep, Natasha is great. Her journey from Iron Man 2 through to Endgame is brilliant. I especially loved her in Infinity War, actually, because she kind of got that girly fight scene against who was it now? It was Proxima Midnight there, and she kind of got that girl scene. And Black Widow, although I don't like the film, I thought she was brilliant in that, and the dynamic she has with that fake family, and it kind of goes into her past as well, so you know more about her. I quite like that. Justin Hammer, I'm gonna say the worst. I do not like the idea of having a Tony Stark wannabe and having him completely fail and then do nothing for the rest of the film. He hired Whiplash, created a load of drones, and then caused Whiplash. Well, he didn't cause, but Whiplash was betraying him from the start. But even then, he doesn't know what to do, and it's then down to Pepper to sort it. But yeah, I don't like him. I also don't like Whiplash. I thought the potential with Whiplash could have been so much higher than what they actually did with him. So the potential for him was here. He's here. Well, you can't even see my hand, but he's down here. He was in the start of Iron Man 2. He attacked Tony in the Formula 1 car. I thought that fight scene was alright. But even then, he's sidelined for another half an hour. You don't see him because he's in prison. And then he's hired by Justin Hammer, and he overthrows Hammer. And then, even at the end, they put him in that Iron Man suit. Why? Why? Just have him use his whiplashy things again. But this time actually make him good at using them. So yeah, Whiplash is terrible for me. Oh, no, not terrible, the worst. Obadiah Stane, I'm going to say is okay. He was the very first villain in the MCU. No major problem with him. I thought the fact that he organised that terrorist attack just to get hold of Stark Industries was actually kind of good. And it kind of suits him well with having Tony become Iron Man later on. And yeah, nothing more to say about Obadiah. Pepper Potts is a good character. Nothing really much said about Pepper Potts. I love her throughout the MCU. Iron Man 1, I think her dynamic with Tony is brilliant. Iron Man 2, she has every reason to be to be mad at Tony and everything, kind of ruining it. Tony ruining it. So she has every reason to be reason to be mad at him. Then she comes in, memorably, she comes in at Endgame as rescue, and even then she's pretty badass. Helped to stop Thanos, so I can't argue with that. Yin Sen. Who are you? Yin Sen was the dude who helped Tony in the cave. He was on screen for half an hour or so, and then they killed him off, so I can't really say much about him. He had a good dynamic with Tony, though, but nothing more than a Who character. Phil Coulson is okay. Good, sorry. I quite like him. I think he's quite funny. His sacrifice in the event, sacrifice, I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I think the way they did that in Avengers, they should have left him dead, but obviously Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. changed that. Because you don't see him again throughout the MCU. It's nice knowing that backstory as well when he's in Captain Marvel. I thought he was funny in that as well, so yeah, he's a good character. Jarvis. Jarvis doesn't really have a whole lot. He's funny, but again, he doesn't do much. I'm just gonna put him in the bad. You can't really say anything about him. He's funny at times, but then doesn't really do anything else. Howard Stark, I'm gonna put him in bad as well. nothing against Howard Stark. I liked him in the Captain America: The First Avenger, when young Howard, sorry. Because in that he's funny and he helps build up the Captain America we know and love. Uh, in and then he's dead throughout the rest of the MCU. But even then, the video clip with where he's addressing, well, not really addressing, but the video clip from Iron Man 2 as well. I thought that was quite nice for him, but even then, you don't see a whole lot of Howard Stark. Next up, Nick Fury is a good character. You don't see, well, you see quite a bit of him, but you don't see a lot of him compared to some of these other guys. He's the one that started this whole Avengers protocol, right from 1990 with Captain Marvel. I think he's hilarious in Captain Marvel, actually. Him and Goose the Cat together are brilliant. Even with the Skrulls, I think he's brilliant. In Iron Man, he makes his first appearance. It's only like for a split second though, but it kind of, that one line where he goes, "I'm here to talk about the Avengers Initiative," it just sets up the rest of the MCU, and you can just see everything kind of building up to there. So I think adding Nick Fury into there was good. He has his fake death in Winter Soldier. I thought that was actually brilliant. And even at the end where he's doing the thing with Pierce, and you gotta keep both eyes open. You see the eye, brilliant. You then don't see him a lot again. He was in Far From Home, but not technically, because that was Talos playing Nick Fury, and he was up in space. You don't really see a whole lot of him, but yeah, he's a good character. Bruce, I'm gonna put him with his protege. Well, not his protege. His alter ego as the Hulk. I think Bruce is brilliant. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna base this off of what we've seen of Bruce Banner and not the Hulk. He's brilliant. He's funny. In Infinity War, he's funny. Because he's got that whole thing where the Hulk can't come out. But even then, I think sidelining the Hulk was a bad idea. But he made it work. He played it off. In Ragnarok, he's funny when he finds out he's been Hulk for 2 years and he doesn't really want to go back to being the Hulk. But yeah, Bruce Banner's a great character. Malekith. Who are you? He's the villain from Thor 2. And he's just not memorable. No threat whatsoever. He's just a Who character. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move these guys up to terrible. And I'm just going to change this. Malekith. I should do it. I'm just going to have that as a Malekith tier. Malekith is the worst character in the whole MCU. Sam Wilson's the Falcon. I think it's good. I think he's good, yeah. Well, the Falcon / Captain America now. Yeah, I think he's good. I love him in every scene. You know what? Can I move him to great? I love the Falcon in every scene he's in. And I think the fact that he was chosen to be the next Captain America was just brilliant. What else can I say about the Falcon? Other than that, he's just funny, and yeah, he's a great character. He's got some good sequences. His dynamic with Steve and then with Bucky as well is just brilliant. It makes me chuckle every time. Next up is Wanda Maximoff. I'm going to stick her in the good characters because there's only one thing I dislike about her. I think Wanda's brilliant. Her powers are brilliant. The way they introduced her is brilliant because she wants to get revenge on Stark she blames him for killing her family. But once she sees what Ultron's doing, she turns to the Avengers. and then she has that redemption arc where she kills Ultron. In Civil War, she joins Cap. Also Team Cap for me. And then she gets sent to prison after Civil War. Does Steve break her out? Then they go into hiding in Scotland. Yeah, she goes into hiding with Vision in Scotland. I think that's brilliant. Yeah. Endgame, when she comes in at the end, she's so powerful, and she could have killed Thanos if she tried. Well, without trying, but Thanos had to call in backup. I'm gonna get to the only problem I have with her. The only problem I have with Wanda is WandaVision. She takes the whole town hostage and then kind of slightly redeems, so she's going in and then slightly redeems, setting them all free. But then when you come in through Multiverse of Madness, she's gone straight downhill evil again. And she's like, well, what was the point of doing that in WandaVision if you're just going to undo it again for Multiverse of Madness? Or my voice broke then, Multiverse of Madness. But yeah. How many more characters we got? Oh, bloody hell, we've got loads. This is going to be a long one. Get your cup of teas ready. Alexander Pierce is next, and I'm going to stick him into bad characters. Because I quite like Pierce. Again, they just don't do a whole lot with him. I think he's quite intelligent for a villain. And his dynamic with Fury as well is brilliant. I am going to start speeding through some of these characters though, because there are a lot here. Yeah, it says 181. Crossbones. You don't see a whole lot of him. I'm going to stick him in bad. Winter Soldier, he's not technically Crossbones yet, but he's still bad. He's part of a Hydra. And then in Civil War, he has 10 minutes on screen. Well, about 20 minutes on screen, and then he's killed off. So yeah, bad character. Sharon Carter. Okay. I loved her in the Winter Falcon, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And then through Civil War, she has to go on the run because she helped Steve and Sam. And then when you see her again in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you see what being on the run does to her. And how she copes with that, and she becomes this big crime lord. But yeah, she's okay. Quicksilver is a wasted character. I'm gonna put him in terrible because you see him once in Age of Ultron, and then you don't. You see him redeem. He redeems for about 50 minutes, and then he's killed off by Ultron. So you kind of don't see a whole lot of him. It's kind of a waste, really, in my opinion. So yeah, terrible character. There's only there. I'm gonna move this guy here. Similar with Fandral, Volstagg, Hogan, and Sif. These guys were not similarly, but they were wasted to me. I'm gonna say terrible. Because you see them in Infinity War, but they don't do anything. They're just trying to hunt down the stones, and even then they all get killed off after like 2 fights. So you don't see a whole lot of them. Nothing to really cry over. And Janet Van Dyne, I say okay. Again, you haven't seen a whole lot of her yet, but she's going to appear in more. I think her dynamic with Hank when they meet each other again is brilliant. Where actually is all the Ant-Man characters? You got Ant-Man and the Wasp characters there. Have they not put Ant-Man on here? How can you have a tier list and not put Ant-Man on here? Or did I already put him on by accident? No. Oh, I know, here he is. Actually, I'll move him up with all the other Ant-Man characters and Hank. Because they're just all out of place. Yeah, Janet is nothing special about her, nothing truly bad, because we haven't seen a whole lot of her yet. But I am eager to see what they do with her, especially in Quantumania, because it seems like she knows about Kang. I'm eager to see that. Ghost is terrible for me. I don't like the whole idea. I like how she's trying to fix herself, but I don't like the way she goes about doing it. Her powers are quite cool as well, in some occasions. Well, other than that, I don't really like Ghost. Bill Foster as well, I'm not a big fan. You don't really see him do a whole lot. He's not threatening at all. He's played off to be a villain, but there's just nothing going for him. Jimmy Woo is from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then again in WandaVision. I'll say he's bad, because you don't see great amounts of him. Actually, you know what? I'll say he's okay. I'll put him with Darcy. Because I actually quite find him funny on occasions. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's Scott Lang's FBI agent checking in on him while he's under house arrest. The bit where he asks him about the card trick as well is just so funny. You see him again in WandaVision, and you can see him that he's learned the magic trick, how he snaps the card out of his finger. And even then, he's brilliant. Yeah, so he's an okay character. Captain Marvel is okay. They're still yet to decide what to do with her, and that's a problem for me. Because in Captain Marvel, she's already got her powers, she just got amnesia, and she's just told different things. And then in in Avengers Endgame, she's at the start, she's cocky enough to go and kill Thanos on her own. And then you don't see her again until the end of the film, where she comes down, takes down the ship, and then she has a 1v1 against Thanos. Stood her ground very well, but then she's just punched and sent away. Next up is Jon Rog. I'm gonna say he's bad as well. He's played to be a hero, but then he becomes a villain, so it's kind of like a twist villain towards the end. And he just spends the entire film lying to Captain Marvel. Nothing special about him. Ramonda, or Queen Ramonda. Where... I'm going to put her in bad. Because she's not necessarily a terrible character, you just don't see a whole lot of her. She's in Black Panther. There's nothing really I can say about her. She's just not great to me. I've clicked off again. There we go. Yeah, she's just nothing really. Yellow Jacket, I'm gonna say, is bad because I liked him in Ant-Man. I thought he was brilliant. But other than that, he's killed off. Then you don't see him again for the rest of the MCU. I don't necessarily have a major issue with him. It's just, I think he just wasn't really all that threatening to me. Wasp. I'm gonna put her in the good tier. Haven't seen a whole lot of her yet, but I reckon she'll be more. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, she's such a badass. It's brilliant. She takes down the whole of Sonny Birch's crew. Goes toe-to-toe with the Ghost. And her dynamic sometimes with Scott and Luis is brilliant. Cassie, again, I'm going to say terrible. Because she's only young in the MCU, so you haven't seen a lot of her. She's meant to be a new hero for Ant-Man Quantumania, though. So I'm excited for that, but other than that, I can't rank her any higher than terrible. Luis is good. I'm saying Luis is good. He's so funny. His stories are brilliant. His dynamic with Scott is brilliant. He leads for some of the greatest moments. The truth serum scene as well, which leads for some of the greatest moments. I'm gonna rank Kurt and Dave together. I'm gonna say they're bad because don't see a whole lot of them. They are funny at times, especially when they steal the police van and everything. But other than that, nothing bad. Nothing great, nothing good, just kind of there. T'Challa is a great character. Again, let's say, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. T'Challa had such a good journey. He deals with the death of his father in Civil War. Then he returns home, becomes king, becomes the Black Panther, and even then he's so brilliant. Because you can see where he's coming from, where he doesn't want to help other people because of what Wakanda has and how they can use it against them. But even then, after fighting Killmonger and everything, you can see that he now wants to help because there are less fortunate people about. But yeah, he's just a great character. Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well is a great character, and I honestly can't wait to see more of him in the MCU. I think throughout the whole MCU, from Civil War through to No Way Home, his journey is brilliant because he starts off as a teenager, not really knowing how to do the superhero thing. In Homecoming, he's trying to do more, and then Infinity War, he wants to do more again. Stark won't let him, but he disobeys him anyway, and he becomes an Avenger. And then even in Endgame, after coming back, they use him quite a bit, and he's brilliant in it. The scene where he's running with the gauntlet as well, where he's getting help from Valkyrie and Pepper, is brilliant. And then Far From Home as well. They've done Spider-Man really well, and then No Way Home is one of the best films in the MCU, as you saw from the last ranking. So Baron Zemo is. I quite like Zemo, so I'm gonna say he's okay. I know that's good. Okay. He tears down, tears apart our Avengers, using Bucky, and his psychological warfare is brilliant with it, because he frames Bucky, breaks down our Avengers, all because he lost his family in Sokovia. I think motive wise it's not great, but he just does it so well. Next up is Everett Ross from Black Panther, and I'm going to say he's okay again. Leads to some funny moments. He has that one scene in Civil War where he's talking to Bucky, and then again at the end where he's talking to Zemo. And that line said, how does it feel knowing it all come to nothing, knowing that you failed? And Zemo just says, did I? And then it's brilliant. Yeah. And in Black Panther, he's so funny. He goes into Wakanda not knowing anything, and it's brilliant. Aunt May. I don't have a problem with her, but I'm gonna say bad. Because again, they don't really do a whole lot with her. She was in Homecoming, then again in Far From Home, and then No Way Home. Homecoming, she finds out Peter is Spider-Man towards the end, and it leads to one of the funniest moments of the film with the cut-off. And then in Far From Home, she's okay with him being Spider-Man, and kind of like pushes him to do more Spider-Man stuff. And then in Far From Home, she probably has one of the saddest death scenes throughout the whole MCU. But yeah, other than that, she's just I'm going to move her up to an okay character. She's okay. Io from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I must say, is bad. You see her throughout that one episode where she wants Zemo. She has the fight scene with Bucky, and she actually helps Bucky return from being the Winter Soldier. But other than that, you don't see a whole lot of her, and she's just kind of there. Uh, Doctor Strange is a good, not good. Sorry, is a great character. How much more? Oh my lord. But yeah, Doctor Strange is a great character. I love his journey through Doctor Strange through to Multiverse of Madness. Uh, yeah, Doctor Strange's journey is brilliant. I love his origin story, how he crashes the car and loses like his function in his hands, and then that leads him towards the mystic arts, becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. And in Infinity War, he's just brilliant as well. Next up, Mordo. Now, is this including Mordo from? Nah, okay, so I'll rank them separately. Mordo is okay. I love him in Doctor Strange. I think he's brilliant, and the fact that he turns towards like villainy at the end as well, I think that's good for a character like him. He helps Strange become the person who he is, and then turns away from all the mystical arts. But other than that, he's just an okay character. Christine, I must say, is okay again. Don't see a whole lot of Christine. Actually, she got a Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, Christine, she's there. So I'll rank her from. She has that. I love the dynamic she has with Strange. And then again when she's trying to help recover him. And how she has no idea what's going on. I find so funny. Excuse me, that was really rude. But yeah, Wong is a good character. I really like Wong. I love his dynamics with Strange. In what else was he in? He appeared in a lot actually this year. He was in Shang-Chi for a scene. He has that scene with Abomination. I thought it was brilliant. And then again in She-Hulk, he has that dynamic with. Well, he just has a dynamic with everyone, and it's brilliant. Multiverse of Madness. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of Wong, to be fair, because it's kind of like going through all the different multiverses. But I do quite like Wong. I think he's a good character. Caecilius, he's terrible for me. I don't remember a whole lot of Caecilius. He was the bad guy from the first Strange film, and honestly, he just doesn't really do a whole lot. He's just trying to serve Dormammu. Other than that, there's just nothing going for him. I just think he's kind of wasted as well. Ancient One, I'm gonna say, is okay. I won't put her in bad. She also helps Strange become Doctor Strange. Well, the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange. He was already a Doctor, but and I think that not sacrifice, but her death. At the end, after showing that she was drawing power, knowing that Strange was right as well. I just think that gives Mordo and Strange the motivation to go and help the Hong Kong Sanctum. So yeah, she's an okay character. Mantis, I'm gonna say is. I'll say she's good. She hasn't had a whole lot to do yet. She has the fight scene in the holiday special. I thought was brilliant with the candy cane. Takes down the whole police army. Other than that, they just haven't really had a whole lot to do with Mantis. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But she's just kind of forcing Ego to sleep the whole time. In what else? In Infinity War, you don't really see her do anything other than try and put Thanos to sleep. Endgame, you don't really see her at all. And then yeah, she just had nothing to do. You know, I'm gonna move her down into okay. She just has nothing. Ego is terrible. The like what they could have done with Ego could have been so much more with what they did. He showcases the villain for the last half an hour or so, and then for the rest of for the first bit of the film, he's just explaining his origin and playing catch with Peter Quill. So yeah, he's not good. He weren't really all that threatening either. MJ and Ned, I'm gonna say, are okay characters. I'll rank them together as well. They have the dynamic with Peter Parker as the best friend and the girlfriend, and I think it's brilliant what they did. Um, I think Ned is. I think they're both really funny at times as well, especially with Guy in the Chair, Ned. But yeah, they're just okay to me. I am starting to speed through all these characters because I've realised actually how many there are. The Vulture, he's good. Yeah, I quite like the Vulture. Um, he's one of them villains motivated by Tony Stark. I don't like that about him. But what he does is brilliant. Stealing all the stuff. The plane scene as well. I actually quite find him quite threatening as well at times, especially towards Peter Parker. Is brilliant. Korg is good as well. I love him in Ragnarok and Endgame because they're not overly forcing Korg onto you, and when he's on screen, he's pretty funny. Um, in Love and Thunder, however, I just find him forced on too much, and he becomes less and less funny as you go along. Hela is also a good character. I think she's one of the better villains in the MCU, along with like Vulture and Loki, and well, not on the level of Thanos, but she's there. Um, I find her quite threatening. She manages to take down all her Force friends within seconds. Uh, yeah, she's just a good character for me. Valkyrie as well is a good character. Loved her in Ragnarok how she refuses to like return to Asgard because of what Hela did, and that history that they have. In Endgame, uh, she rules New Asgard. Well, she helps to rule New Asgard, and seeing how she is coping with like the snap and everything is brilliant. And then in Love and Thunder as well, I thought she was one of the better characters by far. But yeah, she's just a good character. Grandmaster is a bad character. I found him funny at times. Jeff Goldblum does a good job. But even then, it's just kind of him sitting in a chair watching people fight and having orgies. Not my cup of tea. So yeah, bad. The Executioner as well is bad. I like the fact how Hela recognises him, and she kind of draws him into it. He agrees with it, and then his what's the word? Is it reconcile? I don't know, but the way he turns against Hela at the end as well and takes down all the bad guy, like the demon things, with Des and Troy, I think it's brilliant. Killmonger is a good character. Actually, you know what? He's a great character. He's probably the second best villain for me. Actually, no. I'm gonna move Loki up. I'm gonna move Loki up. I reckon he's the third greatest villain in the whole MCU. The way he goes about doing his business is brilliant. How he like subtly takes down everyone. He kills Ulysses Claw. And even then, he still has an impact on T'Challa after his death. It's brilliant. Now Kiera's okay. You don't see a whole lot. Well, I haven't seen a whole lot of her yet. Besides Black Panther, she's just kind of there for me. Yeah. Shuri is good though. I like Shuri. She's funny at times, and her dynamic with T'Challa as brother and sister, I think, is brilliant. And she becomes the Black Panther, but I haven't seen that yet, so I can't give my verdict on all that. Yeah, I think she's good. Okoye as well, I think, is good. Haven't done a whole lot with her yet, though. Um, I'm just waiting to see more of Okoye, to be honest. I think she is funny at times. Yeah, she's just Wakabi is a bad character. I don't like Wakabi. He's played by, oh, what's his name now? He was in Get Out. Daniel Kaluuya or something like that. I like the actor, but the character of Wakabi is just not that great. He starts off as T'Challa's best friend, and then when T'Challa fails, he turns against him and then joins Killmonger. Yeah, not my cup of tea. M'Baku is an okay character. Sorry, yeah, he's just an okay. I find him funny. And you know what? Actually, he's a good character. I think he's quite funny at times. How he starts off as an enemy to T'Challa, and then he saves T'Challa for life with with the life for a life thing after the fight. But yeah, I think he's a good character. Uh, I'm gonna rank all the Guardians of the Galaxy in the great tier. I'm gonna keep them all together. Well, the main 5 Guardians, because I think they all, like, as a whole, all together, they work off brilliantly with each other. The dynamics they have together are brilliant. They all make for pretty funny characters, especially Drax. He's the funniest. But yeah, they all just work off together really nicely, and the journey they all go through together is just brilliant. I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Ronan is bad. I really wanted Ronan to be more. I was happy with him in Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't throw him on to us. But when they said he was coming back for Captain Marvel, I thought, great, there's going to be more to see of Ronan, and he'll improve, in my opinion. But then he was only in it for 10 minutes at the end. I can't stop clicking the button. Stop it. Go back. There we go. Ronan. But yeah, when having him in the last 10 minutes of Captain Marvel just didn't do anything better for me. Yondu is a good character. I love his dynamic with Peter Quill. It's the kind of father figure for him. I think his sacrifice in Guardians 2 as well it's one of the saddest deaths, along with Aunt May and Tony. Whoa, what happened to the screen then? Other than that, yeah, I love his dynamic. I love the fact that my only problem is he's always trying to hunt down the Guardians of the Galaxy, and even when he captures them in Guardians 2, it's just like he's just gonna set them free again. Yeah, I just think he's a good character. Nebula as well is quite good. Didn't really like her as much in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, because she's just kind of a contrast to Gamora. But then once you see what she's been through in Infinity War, you kind of feel for her a bit, and then her redemption as well is brilliant. Yeah, I'm just gonna speed through more again. Day is the worst. They do nothing with Day. The Collector as well, terrible. I'm gonna say it's terrible. My screen, what the hell? Last ranking it was the camera bugging, and now it's this. Again, the Collector, he's in Guardians 1 for about 20 minutes, and then he's gone again until Infinity War, where he gets killed off. So yeah, I don't have much to say about the Collector. I just don't really like him all that much. Ultron's okay. He was created by Tony Stark as a peacekeeping program that goes rogue. and then tries to eliminate human life and replace it with machines. Thought it was okay. The whole character as a whole to me is okay. Vision is good. Vision's good. I like him for when he comes in Age of Ultron. Now he's meant to be a villain, but then they make him good. And then in Civil War as well, he gets sidelined until the airport battle, in my opinion. And then when he comes in Infinity War, because he plays a key part in Infinity War, given that he has a stone in his head. I think his death as well. They've done it really well. Laura Barton, I'm gonna say is terrible, because you kind of just see her as a backstory to Hawkeye. And then in Hawkeye you see more of her and how she might actually be Mockingbird. They did like a Mockingbird thing, then yeah, maybe higher. But other than that, I can't say higher than terrible. Claw as well, I'm gonna put Claw in bad. Quite like Claw. In Age of Ultron, he's there for about 10 minutes and then he runs away. Because the Avengers and Ultron show up. In Black Panther, he actually plays a key part to getting Killmonger to Wakanda. But then he's killed off by Killmonger. But yeah, I'm just going to keep him in the bad characters. Scott Lang is great. I just find him so funny. Paul Rudd plays him brilliantly. And learning how to be Ant-Man in the first one is probably one of my favourite scenes in the whole film. And then even in Ant-Man and the Wasp and then through to Endgame, he's still the same Scott Lang. Hank Pym is good. I love the fact, I love his dynamic with Hope and Scar and Janet. And the fact that he can be actually quite funny sometimes as well, like with the suit through the mail and everything. Yeah, I think it's good. I'm just gonna stick Black Bolt and Multiverse of Madness straight in the worst. They were on screen for 5 minutes and they got killed off. They did nothing. Same with I'm just gonna do this with the characters from Eternals as well, because none of them are really that special to me apart from Phastos and Kingo. Yeah, they don't really do much. I'm putting Age out there though, because she was there for 5 minutes and she was bigged up to be quite a big role in it, but she just did nothing. These guys all, yeah, they didn't really do anything for me. And then I've just put these two up there because they were funny at times. I don't like any of the Eternals apart from these two. Even then, they're not great. Actually, it's missing one. It's missing Hersey. Oh well. Kate Bishop is good in my opinion. How they did her in the Hawkeye show is brilliant. She was quite funny, and having her in it, and then becoming the new Hawkeye just makes it all that more brilliant. So yeah, she's a good character. Maya Hawke is okay. She's in there for half the show, and then she's got her own show coming out, Echo. I thought she was alright in Hawkeye, so yeah. Wilson Fisk, I'm gonna say, is bad, because I'm not gonna rank it off of what I've seen from him in Daredevil. I'm only ranking it from what I've seen in the Hawkeye show. I liked him at the end of the Hawkeye show. I'm just haven't seen enough of him to put him up there. I'm gonna put Jacques and Eleanor as well in the bad category because, again, haven't seen enough of these two yet. Same with Wilson Fisk. These three together, I haven't seen enough of. Matt Murdock, I'm gonna say. I was about to say he's bad because we only ever saw him in No Way Home for 5 minutes, but we actually haven't. I'm gonna say he's good because of that one episode of She-Hulk. That episode was by far the best one, and it just shows that he still has the Daredevil presence that he did in the Netflix show. Next up, we got the two Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. This is just based on their No Way Home performances. I'm gonna say both of them are okay. I'm gonna put Andrew higher than Tobey though because he was more funny. I like the fact that they did the multiverse and they brought these two back. Because watching these two like Spider-Man series with my childhood and seeing them come back for No Way Home was brilliant. I just wish. Actually, I don't wish I saw more of them. I just wish what happens to them after No Way Home, and their lives before getting there. Norman Osborn is a great character. Straight past the good tier, he is great. I clicked it again. I need a new mouse so it doesn't have those bloody side buttons. Oh. Norman Osborn, yeah, he's going straight past. He poses such a threat to Parker, and he kills Aunt May as well. And it just shows that Willem Dafoe has still got the Green Goblin in him. Doc Ock, I'm going to say is good, and Electro as well. I quite like these two. The bridge battle and the ending battle as well as the forest battle as well, is brilliant. And even then they reconcile with their heroes afterwards as well. I thought it just made it brilliant. So actually, I'm going to move these guys up as well into the good category. Next up is Sam. I'm going to rank the Sandman and Lizard together. And I'm going to say that they're in the worst tier. Kevin Feige and Marvel really did not like these for No Way Home. I mean, they could have had a fight scene between Strange and the Lizard, but they chose not to do it and they just have him in the cell. And then Sandman as well, they just did nothing with him. Actually, I'm going to move him up because he had the fight scene against Electro. Next up, Mark, I'm going to say is good. Steven as well. I quite like the character of Moonlight, and I think they're doing pretty well in the show. Oh, I need to turn that off. I think they're doing pretty well in the show. Next up is Khonshu. Khonshu to me is bad. I never really understood the idea of having Khonshu in it. Same with Arthur and Layla. Didn't really understand having these characters in the show. And even at the end, what they did with Layla, they announce her as the Scarlet Scarab and then give her 15 minutes of hero time. It's just not it. Next up, America Chavez is okay. I just want to see more of her. I quite liked her in Multiverse of Madness, so yeah, she's okay. Christine 838, I'm going to put on the same level as the other Christine. Because they're pretty much just the same character, but one was abandoned by... Well, she wasn't abandoned by Strange, but... yeah. Again, these guys are all going down here. Because they just brought nothing to the film. And I really wish they did more with these guys. But yeah, they brought nothing. Morgan as well is in the terrible character because she does nothing. She's just there for Endgame. Mysterio is bad. It's another villain motivated by Tony Stark. They just don't really do a whole lot of him, and even in the final battle, it's not really him. It's just the drones projecting like this here, and he's just sat in the bridge talking. So yeah, he doesn't really do a whole lot. Agatha, I actually quite like what they did with Agatha. I'm gonna put her in okay. I like the fact that she's kind of a twist villain. She plays the nosy neighbor, and her abilities are similar on level to Wanda's. The kids, Billy and Tommy, I'm gonna rank together as well. Put them in the bad category because I said I liked them in my other ranking, and I do, but I just don't think they're that level of okay yet. And that's what happens if I talk for too long. They're just not at that level yet. Hopefully they come back and I can... Hayward is bad. He builds White Vision and he wants to kill Wanda instead of trying to fix this properly. I'm gonna move those there. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Hayward. He doesn't really pose any threat. Carly as well doesn't really pose a threat to me. She's the one who's from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She's got the super soldier serum, and she believes life was better when when half the universe dusted. I can see where her motives are, because a lot of families got kicked out of places, and she's just trying to help them. But the way she goes about doing it, I find ridiculous. US Agent, again, is bad. I didn't like him when he was Captain America. And the fact that he killed a man as Captain America shows he just was not worthy. I love the fight scene he has with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though, where they take the shield from him. And then I just can't wait to see more of what they do with him in the Thunderbolts. Same with Valentina. They've done nothing with her so far. She's just trying to recruit the Thunderbolts. Because you see her recruit US Agent and Yelena. Actually, there's Cersei. I'm just going to put Cersei with the other... with the others, and then she fits in with that. Sarah is a terrible character. She helps to show what Sam's life is like while he's not the Falcon. But even then, they don't really do a lot with her. She gets threatened by Carly, and then that's about it. Isaiah Bradley, I'm gonna say, is bad. I'm gonna move him up higher than Sarah, because you haven't seen a whole lot with him, but his story is powerful, and it kind of has an effect on Sam as well. How he says there'll never be a black Captain America, and then he proves them wrong. But yeah, Isaiah Bradley has such a good story, but he's just not enough. I dropped up. There she is. Sylvie is okay a lot, and I think Mobius is okay. Sylvie for me is just Lady Loki. She was stupid to kill Kang just because she wants to get revenge on them, and I just need to see Loki season 2 to see what they do with her, see whether my ranking would improve with her or not. Same with Mobius. I quite like Mobius. I just need to see Loki season 2 to see what happens with him. And he's actually scheduled to, well, not scheduled, but rumoured to appear in Deadpool 3 when it comes out, so that's right. Kang is a good character for me. I find him quite threatening but funny at the same time. And the fact that he now controls the TVA just makes it a bit more interesting. But as I said, Loki killing Sylvie killing Kang was a bit stupid just to get revenge on him. Ravonna is bad, and so is Hunter B-15. You don't really get a lot with these characters, and even then they're nothing special. When you do get something with them, they're nothing special. So yeah, they're just bad to me. Yelena is okay. The Red Guardian is okay. And Melina is okay, actually. The three of these I'm going to put together. They all look really well together. Actually, I'm going to put Yelena that one bit higher, because she appeared in Hawkeye. So I'm actually going to do Yelena first. Yelena, you introduced her in Black Widow, and it kind of helps to show Black Widow's origins. And the fact that she is also exactly like Natasha, I think is brilliant. And seeing her at the end of Black Widow as well, with where she whistles to the grave as well, is quite sad. And then Red Guardian and Melina, I think they're both quite funny together. They play off each other really well. Just haven't seen enough to say they're good. Red Guardian's coming back for Thunderbolts though, so I'm happy for that. Taskmaster is the worst. Actually, no, I'm going to say terrible. Just a waste of a villain for me. Nothing special going on. Dreykov as well, I'm going to say terrible. There's just nothing really going on with these two. Shang-Chi, I'm going to say is good. Because I liked him in this film. He's absolutely brilliant. And the fight scenes as well is brilliant. I'm going to put Katie with him. Yep, I quite like Katie as well. I think she's actually quite funny, and the dynamic she has with Shang is brilliant. The Mandarin, or Wenwu, is actually one of the better villains in the MCU as well. And I'm just going to put him in the good tier, because his motive as well is brilliant. How you can hear the World Devourer, or that thing behind the wall, because of the rings as well, and he thinks it's his wife. It's brilliant. You know what, I'm going to put all the Shang-Chi characters in good, because I think they're all pretty strong. Jialing, or Ju Jialing, is good. Again, her dynamic with Shang as well is quite good. How they, when they meet up again, she tries to kill him, and then she saves him, and then they go to Talo. They're all of them are quite good for me. Next one to the What If characters. You know, I'm gonna come back to the What If characters, and I'll do them at the end. Talos, okay. Don't really see a whole lot of him after Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel he's okay. Maria Rambeau. I'm gonna put him. Put her with Talos, because again you don't see her after Captain Marvel, but she's all right. Monica again, okay. Child Monica, weren't a big fan of, but when she's all grown up and she discovers about Westview and everything, and she gets the powers, and she gets ready to become a Captain Marvel, I'm excited for that, for the Marvels. Bruno and Kamala Khan. I'm going to do Kamala Khan. I'm going to say she's good. And I'm going to put Bruno in okay. Starting with Kamala. I think she's a great introduction to her character. And now she's bringing in that teenage superhero role in more. I love her dynamic with everyone. How she's super happy. Ooh, excuse me, that's my fault again. How she's super happy with everything. And she becomes a pretty good hero at the end. Bruno as well, I think, is quite funny at times. And his dynamic with Kamala is brilliant, so I'm going to say okay for him. Finally, all the What If characters. I'm going to say Strange Supreme is good. Because his episode to me is by far the best one. And the whole story they do with that is just so good with him. Ultron What If is okay. He was about the same as Ultron from Age of Ultron. This one was just more threatening. Thor What If, I'm gonna say, is there. He's just that typical child wanting to party all the time thing, and it weren't that big for me. Captain Carter What If is okay to me as well, along with Killmonger. I didn't really enjoy these two guys' episodes all that much, but I thought they were both alright character-wise. And the What If version of Captain Carter was definitely better than this version. T'Challa Star-Lord, I'm going to put in good as well. Because that episode as well is brilliant, and I love the whole character. And how skillful he is, and how he's trying to help everyone. And how he brings in the Ravagers to help people, and even puts Thanos off his path. And then the Watcher for me is just okay. Haven't seen much of him, but he's just there. that is it for the ranking, actually. That is all. I'll put my rankings to the characters of She-Hulk and Thor Love and Thunder down below. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Please let me know your ranking down below, and let me know what your favorite who your favorite MCU character is. Let me know down below. But yeah, please, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. This video took a long time to make. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, I pressed the spacebar. See you all in the next ranking, or next video even. Peace out.